It began under the cover of darkness. A suspicious vessel slicing through the Caribbean Sea without lights, without identification, without fear. What happened next wasn't part of any routine patrol. It was a direct confrontation between American firepower and a rising force operating in the shadows. For years, the waters between Venezuela and the Caribbean have become an invisible battlefield. Not a conflict between nations, but between organized crime syndicates and a military force determined to stop them. The Venezuelan cartels, often benefiting from the silence or even tacit support of the Maduro regime, have turned this vast stretch of sea into a superhighway for drugs, weapons, and illicit activities. It is a high-stakes game of cat and mouse played out over thousands of square miles of open water, where billions of dollars in contraband are smuggled north, fueling instability and violence far beyond Venezuela's borders. The routes are constantly changing, the methods growing more sophisticated. Smugglers use go-fast boats designed to outrun patrols, semi-submersibles that travel just beneath the surface to evade radar, and even commercial fishing vessels as cover. For every shipment intercepted, intelligence suggests many more get through. This escalating shadow war has forced the U.S. and its allies to deploy some of their most advanced surveillance and military assets to the region. From destroyers and literal combat ships to patrol aircraft and drones, a constant, watchful eye scans the horizon. It's a relentless effort to disrupt these criminal networks that thrive on chaos and corruption. The stakes are immense, not just for regional security, but for a global order threatened by the fusion of transnational crime and hostile state actors. Every patrol is a mission into the unknown, where the line between law enforcement and military conflict becomes dangerously thin. On a routine patrol, U.S. Navy destroyer detects a fast-moving boat, no flag, no lights, running completely silent. Its radar signature is that of a go-fast, a vessel notorious for smuggling. On the destroyer's deck, a tactical team is on high alert, ready for escalation. In the air, a helicopter lifts off, its rotors cutting through the humid night. Within minutes, its advanced sensors lock onto the target. Over the radio, warnings are issued in both English and Spanish. Unidentified vessel, this is a U.S. Navy warship. You are ordered to stop your engines immediately. The warnings are repeated. There is no response. The boat doesn't slow down, it doesn't change course. The crew in the helicopter can see figures on the boat's deck, but their intentions are unclear. The tension is palpable. Standard procedure dictates a series of escalating steps, verbal warnings, warning shots across the bow. But this situation is different. Suddenly, muzzle flashes erupt from the dark vessel. It's not just a refusal to comply, it's an act of aggression. The smugglers have opened fire on a U.S. military asset. The rules of engagement have just changed. The response from the command center is immediate. Authorization is given to use disabling fire, not to sink the boat, but to stop it. The helicopter's gunner takes aim. Missiles aren't launched. There's no massive explosion. Just a controlled, precise burst of cannon fire aimed at the boat's engines. The bullets tear through the stern of the vessel. The engine compartment erupts into smoke and flames. The go-fast boat, which was just slicing through the waves at high speed, lurches to a halt, now dead in the water and adrift. The chase ends not with a thunderous bang, but with a sudden, eerie silence, broken only by the crackle of the radio and the whir of the helicopter's blades above. As the smoke clears, a U.S. Coast Guard boarding team, launched from the destroyer, approaches the disabled vessel. Their mission shifts from interdiction to rescue and evidence collection. Rescue crews recover 3 men from the water and the smoldering boat, injured but alive. They are quickly secured and given medical attention. Once the scene is safe, the team begins to search the vessel. What they find confirms their suspicions and then some. On board are several automatic rifles, spent casings littering the deck, the source of the muzzle flashes. They also uncover numerous sealed, waterproof packages, which preliminary tests suggest contain a large quantity of cocaine, worth millions on the street. But perhaps most concerning is the discovery of encrypted satellite phones and advanced navigation gear, far more sophisticated than what typical smugglers use. This wasn't a crew of low-level traffickers. The equipment suggests a highly organized, well-funded operation with direct lines of communication to a larger command structure. Who were they? Simple smugglers caught in the act? Or were they mercenaries, hired to protect a valuable cargo? Perhaps they were something else entirely, operating with a level of training and discipline that blurs the line between criminal and paramilitary. For now, the detainees aren't talking. The incident quickly sparks a diplomatic firestorm. The U.S. government issues a brief statement confirming a counter-narcotics operation and emphasizing the right to self-defense after being fired upon. In Caracas, the Venezuelan government responds with predictable outrage, condemning the action as an act of American aggression in their sovereign sphere. But behind the public posturing and closed doors, intelligence agencies on both sides are scrambling to understand the full picture. The questions are deeper now. Was this an isolated event, or a sign of a new, more aggressive strategy from the cartels? This encounter wasn't just a drug bust. It represents a critical piece of a much wider, growing shadow conflict. Venezuela is no longer just a neighbor in crisis. It has become a central hub in a complex geopolitical web that connects criminal networks, hostile regimes, and rogue actors from around the globe. The economic collapse and political instability under the Maduro regime have created a vacuum, and powerful forces are rushing to fill it. This is more than just about cocaine. The same routes used for drug trafficking are also exploited for smuggling weapons, illicit gold, and even people. Intelligence reports have highlighted growing ties between Venezuelan criminal syndicates and international players. From Iran providing technical assistance and fuel in exchange for gold, to Russia's military advisors and political support solidifying its foothold in Latin America. The region is becoming a chessboard for great power competition. Every boat that sails, every plane that flies, and every dollar that's laundered strengthens this network of illicit power. This single strike against one cartel boat sends a ripple effect across this global web. Eyes in Tehran, Moscow, and Beijing are watching how the U.S. responds. They're testing boundaries, gauging reactions, and looking for weaknesses. With every shot fired, the message becomes clearer: the Caribbean is no longer a calm, forgotten backyard. It's a front line in a 21st century conflict that's fought not with armies, but with proxies, sanctions, and covert operations. The stability of the entire Western Hemisphere is at stake. This was just one strike. One target on one dark night. But it offers a rare glimpse into a war that most people never see, a conflict fought far from the headlines and the public eye. As the lines blur between cartels and state politics, and between common criminals and trained soldiers, the nature of warfare itself is changing. The U.S. and its allies are being forced to adapt, preparing for a different kind of conflict, one fought in silence, across vast oceans, and completely under the radar. It's a war of intelligence, of surveillance, and of quick, decisive action where a single mistake can have global consequences. The question now isn't if there will be another strike like this. The question is when, and where. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more real-world stories that uncover the conflicts shaping our world, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next one.